Well, this is Deborah with Redirecting, and I'm going to be talking about the incident that is happening right now in Haiti. Now, I've been looking at a number of different reports on the situation down in Haiti as it relates to the Haitian president. You have those that are protesting because they want him to step down for a number of different reasons. And with the varying reports I'm seeing, it's kind of hard to know what is really actually happening down there. There have been some who have lost their lives in this protesting. Things have gotten quite violent, but it amazes me how when you look at some news outlets, they are softening things to make it seem as if the people are the ones who are in error. And then you have those who are making it seem as though the president is the one in error. So it just goes to show you that in any situation, depending on the writer and what side they're on, they can paint a picture that favors what they think or what they believe. Now, the protesters, they are protesting against corruption. Corruption amongst world leaders is nothing new. It is something we see happening worldwide. I mean, it's not just in Haiti, not just here in the U.S., it's on the continent, it's in Europe and Russia, all around the world. Arab leaders, South American leaders, there is corruption all around the world, okay? But when things turn violent and people are losing their lives, it becomes one of those things where you kind of have to look to Scripture. I always like to look to Scripture because it tells us that perilous times are going to come. Okay, we talk about those things because we want you to be aware that they are here. Perilous times are here. And when I see something happening such as this in regions like Africa and Haiti, of course, it kind of turns your mind to the people who are already suffering. Okay, already suffering, and to have strong arms of the government. If that is indeed what is happening, to have strong arms of the government coming against the population, that's one of those things that you just can't bear to hear, okay? Many times, too, if Western powers are in agreement with corrupt leaders in these other nations, they will support the leader, okay? They won't be there to support the people. But like I said, there are so many different reports about this. As I'm looking through them, I'm looking at some that seem like they're in favor of the Haitian president, and I'm looking at those who seem to be in favor of the people. But nonetheless, this violence, at the end of the day, is bringing more distress to people who are already downtrodden, people who are already suffering from even the earthquake that they had years ago. They haven't recovered from that. So it is really disheartening, especially for those of us who look from a distance and see these things happening. We see them, and there's not a whole lot we can do other than pray. But when you have wicked leaders, okay, and I'm talking specifically in African nations or Haiti or other areas that are governed by blacks, when you have wicked leaders, it makes it that much more difficult for us to grow or develop as a people, okay? When you look to those who are supposed to be the leaders, those who are supposed to watch over you, in my opinion, if you are a leader of a nation or a country, then or a city, it doesn't matter. If you are a leader, then I think you should watch over the people and not abuse the people. Don't take on the attitude of the oppressor and become one yourself, right? Again, everyone saw the devastation that Haiti was hit with many years ago. And like I said before, they are still recovering from that. It was already an area that was filled with poverty in the first place to begin with. And to see that the government is inflicting more suffering on our people is just ridiculous. I like how one sister put it. She said that Haiti is under siege by its own president. And they were also saying that they're having their own people shot by mercenaries from the Dominican Republic. Now, I haven't been able to find anything specifically on that, but I have noticed that many of the articles talking about this are coming from different angles. depending on who it is they are supporting. All we know is that these people in Haiti and other areas around the world, they are getting tired. They're getting tired of rulers who don't have their best interest at heart. They're getting tired of leaders who are trampling over the people for their own greedy gain. We see that happening a lot around the world, but we tend to look at what's happening in areas that are governed by our own people, especially if we have any type of consideration of living among our own people. I've never really desired to live in South America, but you know, even regions of Africa, I have desired to go there. And so you see some of the same stuff happening. And when you see these kind of things happening, you just kind of, you don't want to lose hope, okay? But we do realize that we must pray, because these things are happening for a reason. They were prophesied to happen. They fall under the category of perilous times. Men becoming lovers of their own selves. And so when you have leaders who are more in tune with their own selves and don't care about the people, and they are in a position to where they can enact change, but they decide not to, they have become lovers of their own selves. And that is a worldwide epidemic, not just something in black nations or black run nations, but is worldwide. As a matter of fact, we see it happening right here in the USA. Lovers of their own selves and their top 1% buddies, you know, making sure that the rich stay rich and that that the poor stay poor. And so as we see these things unfold, family, that's just a call to more prayer. The scripture tells us to pray without ceasing. And this is something we must do for our brothers and sisters, regardless to where they are. These things are going to happen. And when I say pray, they have to be targeted prayers, because it was prophesied that these things are going to happen. There are targeted prayers that we need to have as it relates to some of our people on the ground. If you have family in various regions, praying for their protection, praying that their eyes are open to the truth, praying that our people will turn their hearts back to the Most High Yah. So many things we can pray for, and we need to pray for. Okay? But we tend to focus so much on the cares of this life that we forget about those things. Let's not forget to pray, okay? Let's turn our focus to the fullness of the truth, okay? Not just dressing ourselves and celebrating who we are, but also doing the work involved with this awakening, okay? I see a lot of people who are celebrating who we are. It's more about the celebration of self and less about the awakening, okay? Let's all be a part of the awakening. Not competing with one another, not trying to challenge one another, but being bearers of the truth and sharers of the truth, okay? And walking in the newness of life. The scripture tells us that we are to be a light to the world, okay? We are not to be those who are helping to display darkness, but we are to be a light to the world, okay? So let's be about our Father's business, family, okay? Not just about the business of running our mouths, but let's be about the business of spreading the truth to the world. If you have a platform here on YouTube, if you're doing it by radio, if you're doing it by Instagram, if you're doing it locally, wherever you are, if just talking to your family is all you're able to do, if you can just talk to the people on your job, the truth is worth sharing, okay? Because our people are awakening, right? And we want to make sure that we are a positive influence in that awakening. We don't want to inject more negativity and more ignorance. We want to inject more truth, okay? Sometimes the truth is a hard pill to swallow. I will say that. You can't hold back on the stuff that's hard because you want to soften the blow, because it says, the word also says, cry aloud and spare not, right? And lift up your voice like a trumpet in Zion. So the truth is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but nonetheless, it must be shared in a way that it will be effective, okay? So with that, family, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.